So first off, plunging your body in cold water, there's something about it that's just so difficult. Don't get me wrong, the more you do it over time, the easier it gets. But with that even being said, sometimes it's just so shitty. As soon as you get into cold water, everything in your body and brain is telling you to get out. And somehow you have to find a way to override this and stick in that discomfort and pain. And the act of doing so, it's very challenging.
Fucking challenging.
My background with cold exposure, I've done it occasionally. I occasionally will take cold showers. For a while, me and my roommate, we had this freezer that we'd filled with water and freeze and make it super cold, and we'd get in that occasionally. Sometimes friends would have an ice bath and they'd invite me over. But I thought to myself, what are the benefits of doing this on a consistent basis, right? Not just once in a while here and there. Like, what if this is built into my routine? And my roommate actually does this every single day. It's built into his routine and he recommends it. So I thought I'd give it a shot with him. Like, how hard is it? Are there even benefits to doing this on a consistent basis, or is it fine just doing once in a while? Like, this is what I wanted to know. I also invited friends to join me for these 30 days, and they kept me accountable and I kept them accountable. So for 30 days, I plunged myself into cold water at 7:45 a.m. every single day. I knew it was gonna be difficult, but I didn't realize how difficult it was gonna be. The first 2 or 3 days weren't that bad.
Feels so good.
And then the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th were pretty hard. It's not a habit yet. And I'm also doing this first thing in the day, right? So there's a few times where I woke up and I just wanted to stay in bed. Like, I don't want to get up and just dive into cold water, right? But you gotta do it.
So right now is a good example of not wanting to do it. Good morning, Cal.
What's up?
Yeah, last night I was up till 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. So 1:30. So I'm fucking tired.
I did cryotherapy on like Sunday.
I've never done that.
Honestly, man, it's not as good as this.
Yeah.
It's like
Cold water conversations are the best.
like they're just blasting you with cold air, but it's like way less hard than cold water.
Yeah.
And I bet it's not as effective.
Let me walk you through what an average day for me looks like in these 30 days. My alarm goes off. I'm thinking, fuck. I then get up and brush my teeth, grab my swim trunks, and walk outside. At this point, I'm committed. I'm outside, I'm up, and I'm ready. My confidence is through the roof. But as I walk further and further towards the cold pool, my anxiety starts to creep in. As you take the first step into the cold, your fears are coming into life. And the deeper you get into the cold water, the more your body and your mind is telling you to get out. Once your body is fully submerged, this is actually the hard part. How long can you stay? Anyone can just jump into cold water. The trick is, how do you stay calm, collective, and fight the feeling to get out?
So what's happening today?
We're just about to do a cold plunge.
I usually stay in for about 3 minutes. Occasionally I'll push it to 4 or 5, but definitely don't overdo it. The cool thing is, after consistently doing cold exposure, it does get easier and easier over time. Not just staying in the water gets easier, but also bearing the cold, right? I feel like it's less of a shock the more you do cold exposure. And there's actually something inside of you. This might sound crazy, but there's actually something inside of you that wants it. Even though there's a lot of days that are shitty, a lot of days, there was a few days that I was actually excited for it, or I'd go to sleep and I was actually like, yeah, I get to do this in the morning. I don't know, it's a weird feeling, and I've only felt it a few times. It's not all the time, but it does get easier over time. Also, a really cool benefit to this specific pool was there was a hot tub right next to it, and the hot tub was working great. So after the cold, we would usually jump in the hot tub and kind of reward ourselves with that. And I felt like that was just the push to stay in the cold, because it was like, you know, while this is shitty, you also get to reward yourself with this awesome hot tub, you know, afterwards, and talk with some cool friends about some funny stuff, you know? Throughout the 30 days of doing this, we also had friends join us on and off, and it was cool to see people trying cold exposure, some people trying it for the first time. This is a friend of mine from Puerto Rico, and he's trying it for the first time. I love his reaction.
Yeah, no, get your shoulders in. Stay in the pitch. It'll get warm. It'll get warm. It's not the most difficult thing you've ever done.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
After 30 days, I looked back on the things I've accomplished and how I felt, and came up with these lists of pros and cons. For the most part, there aren't really a lot of cons besides it just being really uncomfortable. And it is really fucking uncomfortable, but that's also the pro, right? That's how you get the benefits, is because of how uncomfortable it is. And that's where we jump into the good stuff, the benefits of doing this on a consistent basis. Now, these benefits are just what I saw over the course of 30 days. And if you want to dive deeper into the long-term benefits and some of the science behind cold exposure, I'll put some resources and some books and some people in the description, so you can check those out if you want to dive deeper into this. The first benefit, of course, which is the mental aspect. When you overcome something challenging, and what's challenging about this is not only doing cold exposure, but doing it on a consistent basis. When you overcome that, you feel like you can accomplish, anything. They just seem a little bit easier and more manageable because I can get through that. And it's a mental aspect, right? But that confidence and that reassurance when something challenging does come up, that yeah, I can overcome it because I overcome challenges on a daily basis. Man, that just puts you, ahead of a lot of people, I'd argue. And of course, I'm not perfect, right? I have a ton of flaws and a ton of things I'm working towards and working through. And that's what the cold exposure helps with, right? Working through problems, overcoming things, overcoming obstacles and overcoming challenges, and doing it with a smile on your face. Then there's the physical aspect. So of course, this is on a short term. This is only 30 days, so we're not going to expect crazy results. But I did notice more energy. I do a lot of sports, and I also work out, not a lot, but decent amount. So I'm kind of sore sometimes, or I'm injured from the sports I do. So I did notice, maybe it was placebo, but I did notice recovery time increased, and also I just kind of felt better when I got out of the water. And there's a ton of science and all these other benefits that are related to cold exposure. These are just kind of the ones I felt right now. But like I said, I'd highly recommend to, if you're interested in seeing the benefits, to do your research and check it out, because some of the shit's crazy. What it does for brown fat, what it does for your mental and physical health, it's huge. So check it out if you're interested. But all in all, after the 30 days, I actually didn't stop. I changed it up a bit, but I'm still consistently doing cold exposure at least 3 to 4 times a week. And in the summertime, of course, I can't use the pool, so I'll probably just be doing some sort of freezer or something like that. But I really love it in a morning routine. Something about it just starts the day off right, and it makes it so you feel like you can accomplish anything in the day. And what about you? Like, is this something for you to try? I would say if you've never done cold exposure before, just give it a shot. Take a cold shower, jump in some cold water. Just give it a shot. You're not gonna like it, but if you stick in that discomfort for a little bit, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, you're gonna see a ton of results. And of course, be safe. Be safe. And if you have done cold exposure before, but you're not doing it maybe on a consistent basis, I would argue to try to implement this into either your daily routine or your weekly routine. And the benefits of doing so are astronomical. So whether it's a cold shower, a rinky-dink freezer, a cold pool, some sort of container filled with ice, whatever it is, remind yourself when you're doing it that it's just temperature of water. It's not pain, it's discomfort. And if you can get through this, I truly believe that you can get through almost anything in life. It's time to get cold.
So that was 3 minutes. Now we're about to jump in the hot tub and then back into the cold.